All right, there is a lot of people that owe Coach Prime and CU an apology. And I'll start with Sean Keeler. But before I go in, I'm somebody who plays the middle. So last year when they lost to Stanford, I was pretty critical of Coach Prime and how they lost. However, I never hated the man or was just like so irrational where you didn't even give him a chance. And I feel like there is a lot of people who just didn't give him a chance. So I'm going to start with this guy first, Sean Keeler. He writes friendly things about the players on the team, but I just want to know if he will be man enough and say, you know what, my bad. I was wrong about Coach Prime as a good journalist. I'll start off with he goes on a Nebraska podcast early this year. And if anybody wants to, they can look it up. And everybody else is thinking Coach Prime and him will go 3-1. He said out of his mouth they'll start 1-2 or 1-3. He said that at the Nebraska game. So back then, he didn't think they had a chance to beat Colorado State or Baylor. He thought they were going to start off pretty bad. Colorado starts off 4-1. So that was quite funny to me. Uh, and they got that road win at UCF. Obviously, the miracle at Folsom. Uh, they shut up Jay Norvell this time. They didn't fall into his little goofy, dirty tactics. But I just want people to go and look and see. And when I'm done making this video, I'm going to make sure I go on Twitter and look at all the comments that people left under different people who are supporters or writers for the Colorado Buffaloes and said they'd only win 3 games, they only win 2 games. First they said they wouldn't win this game, then they say, oh, it's only one of 3 games you're going to win this year. Oh, it's only one of 4 games you're going to win this year. Oh, it's only one of 5 games. Every week it just kept changing. It's one of so many games you're going to win this year. And that going at Colorado went 9-3. Easily could have beat Kansas State and been 10-2. A lot of people got hurt that game, lost it at the last second. Easily could have went ahead and did what they were supposed to do last week at Kansas. But an impressive 52-0 win today over, you know, Oklahoma State, who most people thought Oklahoma State would be the Big 12 champions, or Utah. They actually got both of them at home and beat them pretty bad. So the way Coach Prime has his CU culture and his buff program is looking pretty good. And he did it in 2 years. Some people are going to say, oh, the transfer portal. Some people are going to say, oh, he got lucky here. Then it's the strength of schedule. Then it's this. Then it's that. And it's like one thing I hate in life and one thing that'll make me cut people off quick is a hypocrite. People who constantly talk about other people but never do any self-reflecting. And then when they end up being wrong, they just spin it or move the goalpost. It's never, you know what? Maybe let me think twice before I say something, and I'll make better decisions. Next, obviously, we got to talk about Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock has trashed Coach Prime since he's been at Colorado from day one. And it's actually kind of funny because when you type in his name in the Google search now, the only thing that comes up is his face and Coach Prime. So, in all this time, in all this quote unquote journalism he's doing, all they talk about is Coach Prime. There's never been anything that's been about real journalism. And it's kind of funny because this was a election year. And you kind of seen, and I don't want to get too deep into politics, but you kind of seen Donald Trump give votes that a lot of Republicans never got before. And you kind of seen the opposition continue to do the same stupid thing. doubling down on the stuff that they're wrong about, being disrespectful, lying, moving the goalposts. It's pretty much what Jason Whitlock did all year long. And if anybody looks at last year, his daggone views were like at 100,000, 500,000. Nowadays, you see the stuff he does about Coach Prime and talks about his record. He's barely getting, a fifth of that as what he got last year. And it gets to a point where you realize these dudes ain't really, journalists. And he's one of the guys who said journalism is dead. These guys are shock jocks. But once again, he's turning around doing the stuff that he complained about. And it was kind of funny for me to see so many people who were on board with him last year to now this year saying, okay, now you're just hating on him. If you literally look at his views, last year when they was losing, he was getting 100,000 views, this many views, that many views. Nowadays, 3 or 4 years later, he's getting 10K. He's went so far as I'm gonna wear an Oklahoma State hat this week. I'm gonna wear a Utah hat this week. You know what I mean? They got everything, or he's got everything from every week where he's just trying to trash, disrespect Prime, trash, disrespect Prime. But it's going nowhere. And in the long run, he came to Colorado. He set a new standard. He changed the culture. He had that place sold out. He got CU fans feeling like Coach Barnett, and obviously the great coach Mack had him feeling in those days before he got there. It's been a phenomenal football season. It's been a joy to see all college football, but it's definitely been enjoyable to see Coach Prime succeed. I wouldn't say I agree with everything Coach Prime does, but I agree with his way of winning, his faith, his willpower, and I am extremely happy for what he did at the University of Colorado. And can't none of these journalists, no matter how hateful, how envious, how jealous, how many lies they type, no matter how much negativity they bring to the forefront, none of them can take away what the man has done in 3 years. This team was 1-11 in 2022, 4-8 in 2023, and 9-3 in 2024, and can mess around and be 10-3 if they win a bowl game. 10 wins. That's a huge turnaround in 2 years. I'm out.